Welcome to the third edition of Under the Golden Dome. As with last week, you can see that I'm not under the Golden Dome. That's due to technical difficulties, and we will not be taping these live from the Capitol anymore. Due to the fact that so much of the legislative work is being done virtually, the internet connection at the Capitol is very unstable and does not produce high quality video or sound, and so we will be doing our taping remotely. Today, I'm coming to you at approximately 1:40 on Thursday afternoon, and there's a big afternoon and evening ahead of us as the Senate and House both debate some education bills of importance to us. I'm going to talk as if they've passed those bills because they're very committed to getting those done today, but keep in mind that the wheels can always fall off of the bus and the legislative process can break down. We'll also have a more complete update included with the board briefs and our advocacy and action newsletter that will tell you some of the changes that they are making with respect to the two main bills that we're most interested in, which is the governor's recommendations on school vouchers and the in-person instruction bill. So first, let me talk about the governor's bill, Senate File 159, which is the education omnibus, everything but the kitchen sink bill. That is going to be debated on the floor today in the Senate. They will pass it, and it will go over to the House. They are going to make some amendments. Some of them, I think, will help us in some of the divisions of the bill, but overall, I don't see our position changing unless they strip out Divisions 1, 2, and 3. Division 1 being the voucher program, Division 2 being the private companies can set up charter schools, and Division 3 is the elimination of the voluntary diversity plans, ability to control open enrollment for those 5 school districts. Once this bill pops over to the House, however, that's where our real focus is going to be. We have heard consistently from House education leaders that they're not going to do a whole package. They're going to split it into individual pieces and consider each on their own merits. And we still have a very strong contingent of House Republicans who are opposed to vouchers, and our goal is to hold those folks. Number 2 of the things that you need to know about this week is in-person instruction. As we talked about in an early podcast previewing what was coming up for the legislative session, the requirement that you provide 100% in-person instruction was the worst kept secret in state government. We knew this was coming. We've been encouraging districts to take a look at how you can make those adjustments in your schedule if you're not currently providing 100% in person. That bill is on the floor in both the House and the Senate. They have identical amendments, and it will be sent to the governor and signed tomorrow, January 29th. That starts the clock ticking. Parents have 5 days to notify you, so you'll have to give them some kind of way to notify you of their desire to have 100% in person. And that 5 days, assuming it's signed tomorrow, is about the middle of next week. And then districts have 2 weeks. Well, they have to have this in place by the second Monday, which is at least 2 weeks after the bill is enacted. And that turns out to be February 8th. So as you look at this, it's a very quick turnaround. We are getting some of the things that we asked for, which is the ability to request waivers based on teacher absences, shortages of substitute workers, food service workers, or bus drivers. Those things that you really need to have in the building to be able to have kids there. Number 3, let's talk about SSA. Obviously, in all of this, you're probably wondering, when will we know what the school funding number is and how will that be delivered? What I will tell you is that both sides are still negotiating that, trying to come to an agreement on both the overall amount of money that they will spend on K through 12 public education and how they will spend it. Those are two separate issues. Their goal is not to have bills from each chamber that are different, where they're negotiating in public. They're doing it what legislators do best sometimes, which is negotiate behind closed doors. But both sides have said they're committed to meeting that 30-day requirement, which puts them into the second week of February and having to have this resolved and sent to the governor's office. At this point, there's no bill to consider. We're offering our input and insight in terms of how money might be delivered, making sure that as much of that is put into the SSA rate so that we can actually raise the base and provide long-term stability. So that's it for this week, and next week is probably going to be just as busy on the education front. Please keep up the advocacy that you're doing with your legislators in both chambers. That is such an important way for you to help us influence the process.